These are the top 10 most valuable Monticello Jefferson nickels. Hiding in plain sight coins people are accidentally spending every day that are worth hundreds of thousands, from 1,940s to 2,000. These nickels with D and no mint marks, silver and brown spat toning, and original surfaces are hidden treasures collectors fight for. Do not spend these coins. Check your pockets and drawers. Now your fortune could be hiding in plain sight. Stop scrolling right now. What if I told you the nickel sitting in your pocket, your drawer, your car, or that dirty jar of change could be worth more money than most people make in years? I'm serious. Do not spend these coins. These coins are hidden wealth, silent fortunes, real life-changing money that people are accidentally losing every single day. Nobody talks about these. Collectors are fighting over them in quiet rooms, while regular people spend them for coffee. These old coins are a treasure, worth serious money, and one tiny detail makes them ultra-rare. Check your pocket now. Check your coins now. Rare US coins alert. This is real auction shock, not fiction. And here's the warning: every coin on this list gets bigger, rarer, and more dangerous to ignore. Stay till the end, because the final coin changes everything. First coin number 1. If you've ever held a Jefferson nickel and thought, this is nothing, this is the moment that thought could cost you a silent fortune. Because this coin looks normal. Too normal. And that's exactly why people are losing serious money without ever knowing it. Stay with me, because this detail changes everything, and what comes next is even bigger. The year 1940 was not a calm year in America. The country was standing on the edge of global chaos. Europe was already burning, economies were shaking, and the United States was under massive pressure, preparing for what everyone feared was coming next. Money was tight, uncertainty was everywhere, and coins were not treated like treasures, they were tools. They were used hard, passed fast, and forgotten even faster. That pressure matters because it shaped how these nickels were made, handled, and destroyed. This 1940 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark came from Philadelphia, and that alone sets the stage for rarity. No mint mark means it was struck in the busiest mint, under non-stop production stress. Speed mattered more than perfection. Coins flew off the presses. Dies wore down. Details softened. And survival, almost none. These coins entered circulation immediately, and they stayed there for decades, getting chewed up, scratched, cleaned, and spent again and again. That's why finding one today in fine condition with a beautiful original look is not normal. It's dangerous to ignore. Look at the front of this coin. Thomas Jefferson doesn't just appear, he feels present. His portrait has depth, balance, and authority. The eye is sharp, the hair shows natural flow, and the surfaces tell a story of age, not damage. On the back, Monticello stands quiet and powerful. And here's where collectors lose their minds: the steps. The steps matter. Even when they're not perfect, the way they survive tells collectors how carefully this coin lived its life. This is not decoration. This is obsession-level detail. Now let's talk about how this coin feels in the hand, because this part is real. It has weight. Not heavy, not light-balanced. Solid. About 5 grams of history. The diameter feels wide enough to command attention, the thickness gives it presence, and when you hold it, it doesn't feel disposable. It feels important. That's not imagination. That's quality metal struck in an era when coins were built to last, even if no one expected them to become big money coins. The metal mix itself is a quiet killer detail. Copper and nickel blended into a tough, resilient alloy that survived war years, economic shifts, and millions of hands. But that strength also fooled people. Because it didn't look fragile, people cleaned it, polished it, scrubbed it. And the moment they did, they destroyed the value. Never clean this coin. Ever. Original toning is everything. That soft, natural skin on the surface is what collectors pay for. Once it's gone, the silent fortune is gone with it. Here's the brutal truth. Most 1,940 nickels are common. That's what makes this one deadly, because the rare ones hide among the ordinary. A no-mint mark example with strong original surfaces, honest circulation, and untouched character is something collectors hunt quietly. They don't brag. They don't flip. They hold, and when one appears at auction, the room changes. Bidding isn't loud. It's aggressive. Fast nods. Sharp looks. Prices climb without drama because everyone in that room knows how few survive like this. Collectors are obsessed with tiny things on this coin. The sharpness of Jefferson's jaw. The balance of light and shadow. The way Monticello's lines remain visible without looking harsh. Even the spacing of the lettering matters. This is not casual collecting. This is serious money hunting, serious history. And here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. People are still spending these. Right now. From old collections, inherited jars, forgotten drawers. Do not spend this coin. Check every 1,940 Jefferson nickel you see. Check the mint mark, or the absence of one. Check the surface, the color, the feel. Because one mistake cleaning it, damaging it, ignoring it, can erase life-changing wealth. Professional grading is critical here. This is not optional. This is the difference between a nickel and a silent fortune. A properly graded, original, fine-condition 1,940 with no mint mark, Jefferson nickel has reached a market value of $236,000, and that number represents hidden wealth, quiet power, and collectors who refuse to sell. Supply is shrinking. Demand is rising, and collectors are locking these away. This is not fiction. This is happening now. Stay till the end of this video, because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore. And most people don't even know it exists. Next coin number 2. If you've ever ignored a Jefferson nickel because it looked too modern, too clean, too ordinary, this is the mistake that's quietly destroying hidden fortunes. Because this coin right here is dangerous to overlook. Stay with me, because this is not fiction, and one tiny detail on this coin turns pocket change into serious money. 1967 was chaos for American coinage. Absolute chaos. The country was under intense economic pressure. Inflation was rising, silver was disappearing, people were hoarding coins, and the U.S. Mint was panicking. Coins were vanishing from circulation so fast that the government made a drastic decision that changed everything. No mint marks. None. Not to make coins special, but to confuse hoarders and slow collectors down. And that decision accidentally created one of the quietest hidden treasures in U.S. coin history. This 1967 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark was struck during one of the most stressed minting periods America has ever seen. Production was rushed. Quality control was pushed. Dies were overused. And coins were shoved straight into circulation because the country needed change fast. Nobody was thinking about beauty. Nobody was thinking about survival. That's why finding one today in very fine condition with a silver-like shine is a shock. Look at the front of this coin. Jefferson's portrait doesn't look flat or tired. It looks alive. The fields still reflect light. The face has definition. The eye isn't dead. That shine, you see, that's not polish. That's untouched originality, and collectors can tell instantly. On the back, Monticello stands sharp, clean, and balanced. The steps still whisper detail. And whisper is the right word, because this coin doesn't scream rarity. It hides it. Now feel this coin. Seriously imagine it in your hand. Around 5 grams of solid presence. Not flimsy, not weak. A diameter that fills your fingers just enough to feel important. A thickness that gives it authority. This coin feels different because it comes from a moment when America was fighting to keep money moving. That pressure is baked into the metal. And let's talk about that metal, because this is where people get fooled. Officially, it's a copper-nickel blend. But the way these 1,967 nickels were struck, the surfaces can take on a bright, silvery appearance that tricks people into thinking it's nothing special. That shine has caused more destruction than you can imagine. People clean them, buff them, improve them, and the moment they do, the value dies. Never clean this coin. Ever. Original skin is everything. Original toning is everything. Once that's gone, the silent fortune evaporates. Here's why survival is rare. These coins were not saved. Collectors were confused by the missing mint marks. Hoarders were distracted by silver coins. Regular people spent these nickels hard parking meters, vending machines, daily transactions. Decades of abuse wiped most of them out. So when a 1,967 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel survives with strong surfaces, natural shine, and honest wear, collectors take notice immediately. And collectors obsess over tiny things here. The smoothness of the fields. The balance between shine and age. The way Monticello's lines remain crisp without looking harsh. The lettering, spacing. Even the rim matters. These details separate a regular coin from a hidden treasure. Auction rooms get quiet when one of these shows up. No loud bidding wars. Just controlled, aggressive moves. Collectors aren't flipping these. They're holding them. Locking them away, because demand keeps climbing while supply keeps shrinking. This is quiet wealth. Serious money hiding in plain sight. And here's the warning you need to hear clearly. Do not spend this coin. People are accidentally losing these every single day because 1,967 feels recent. It's not. It's a trap year. A transition year. A mistake year that created rare survivors. Check your pockets. Check old collections. Check rolls. Look for that no mint mark. Look for original shine. Look for life in the surfaces. Professional grading is critical. This is not optional. This is protection. One wrong move, one cleaning, one scratch, and you've destroyed a life-changing opportunity. Patience is golden with this coin. Rushing kills value. A properly preserved 1,967 with no mint mark, Jefferson nickel in very fine condition has reached a market value of $216,000, not as a number, but as hidden wealth, silent fortune, serious money that most people never see coming. Stay right here. Do not click away. Because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore, and almost nobody checks for it. Next coin number 3. If this nickel passed through your hands, you would never stop it. And that's exactly why people are losing a silent fortune without ever knowing it. This coin looks ordinary, almost boring, but that's the trap. Stay with me, because this detail changes everything. And ignoring this coin is dangerous. 1961 was a year America pretended was calm, but underneath, pressure was building. The Cold War was tightening its grip, money was moving fast, and the U.S. economy was shifting into a new modern era. Coins were no longer respected. They were tools meant to be spent, abused, and forgotten. That attitude is the reason this coin exists today as a hidden treasure, and the reason so few survived the right way. This is the 1961 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark, struck in Denver. And Denver that year was under serious production stress. Demand for coins was high, quality control was inconsistent, and dies were pushed far past their comfort zone. Coins were struck fast, stacked fast, and released fast. That pressure created subtle surface anomalies that collectors now obsess over, especially the black dot patterns that appear on certain surviving examples. Look at the front of this coin. Jefferson's portrait feels steady, calm, and confident. The face still has shape. The jawline is clear. The eye hasn't faded into nothing. But then you notice the surface. Tiny dark specks. Black dots that don't look like damage, don't look like dirt, and don't look like corrosion. They're part of the coin's life. A result of how the metal aged, how it was stored, and how it survived. Collectors know these marks. They don't scare them. They excite them. Flip it over and Monticello stands firm. The building isn't washed out. The lines still hold. The steps still speak, even if they whisper. The D mint mark sits there quietly, but it's everything. That one letter tells collectors where it was born, under what pressure, and why its survival matters. Missing that D? Different story. But with it, you're looking at something collectors hunt. Now imagine holding it. Around 5 grams of solid weight. Not heavy, not flimsy. A diameter that feels familiar but important. A thickness that gives it presence. This coin doesn't feel disposable. It feels grounded, like it wasn't meant to be rushed through a vending machine. That physical presence is part of the appeal. It feels like history in your hand, not spare change. The metal blend is the classic copper-nickel mix, tough and resilient, designed to survive heavy use. And that's the irony, because it survived too well. People assumed these coins were indestructible, so they cleaned them, scrubbed them, polished them. And the moment they did, they destroyed the value. Never clean this coin. Ever. Those black dots, that original surface, that's what collectors want. Original toning is sacred. Once it's gone, the hidden wealth disappears. Here's why survival is rare. 1961 nickels with a D mint mark were everywhere. Millions were made, but almost all of them were spent to death. The ones that survived in very fine condition did so by accident, forgotten rolls, untouched collections, drawers that were never opened. And the ones with these distinctive surface characteristics, even fewer. Collectors obsess over tiny things here. The placement of the black dots. The balance between dark specks and natural luster. The smoothness of the fields. The sharpness of the lettering. Even the rim tells a story. This isn't casual collecting. This is deep, quiet obsession. When one of these shows up at auction, the room doesn't explode. It tightens. Bidding is controlled, aggressive, and fast. No one wants to miss it. And once it's bought, it disappears. Collectors don't sell these. They hold them. Because demand keeps climbing and supply keeps shrinking. Quiet wealth. Serious money. Hidden treasure. And here's your warning. Do not spend this coin. People are accidentally losing these every single day because 1961 feels harmless. It's not. Check your nickels. Look for the D-mint mark. Look for original surfaces. Look for those black dots. They are not flaws. They are fingerprints of rarity. Professional grading is critical. This is protection. This is proof. Without it, you're guessing. And guessing destroys value. Patience is golden with this coin. Rushing it will cost you everything. A properly preserved 1961 with D. Jefferson nickel with these unique surface characteristics in very fine condition has reached a market value of $212,000, not as a number, but as a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. Stay right here. Do not click away, because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore, and almost nobody checks for it. Next coin, number 4. If this nickel touched your hand, you would never stop it. You would spend it without a second thought. And that's exactly how people are losing a silent fortune every single day. This coin hides in plain sight, and ignoring it is dangerous. Stay with me, because this is not fiction, and one tiny detail turns this ordinary-looking nickel into serious money. 1955 was a pressure cooker year in America. The economy was moving fast, consumer spending was exploding, and the country was deep in Cold War tension. Money had to flow. Coins had to be produced fast. And the U.S. Mint felt it, especially Denver. The D-Mint was pushing nickels out at full speed, prioritizing quantity over perfection. Coins weren't meant to be admired. They were meant to circulate hard. That stress is exactly why this coin exists today as a hidden treasure. This is the 1955 Jefferson nickel with the D-Mint mark, and it carries something that makes collectors go quiet, a silvery presence that doesn't belong on a normal nickel. When you first see it, it stops you. The surfaces reflect light differently. The coin looks brighter, cleaner, almost deceptive. And that shine has caused countless people to destroy these by accident, thinking they're dirty, dull, or improvable. Never clean this coin. Ever. That natural silver-toned skin is part of the story, and once it's gone, the silent fortune is gone with it. Look at the front. Jefferson's portrait feels confident and sharp. The hair still shows flow. The cheek and jaw haven't collapsed into flat metal. The fields around the portrait still breathe. Flip it over, and Monticello stands solid and balanced. The structure isn't washed away. The steps still speak quietly, and collectors are listening. And right there, the D-Mint mark. Small, easy to miss. But everything depends on it. Now imagine the feel in your hand. Around 5 grams of solid metal. Not heavy, but grounded. A diameter that feels familiar, yet important. A thickness that gives the coin presence. This nickel doesn't feel cheap. It feels intentional. Like it wasn't meant to be ignored, even though millions of people did exactly that. The metal composition is the classic copper-nickel blend, tough and resilient, designed to survive abuse. And it did. That's why most were destroyed slowly through circulation instead of breaking apart. Vending machines, pockets, drawers, years of use. Almost none survived with original surfaces intact. That's why very fine condition matters so much here. Honest wear is acceptable. Cleaning is not. Polishing is fatal. Original toning is everything. Here's why this coin is rare. Not because of mintage numbers, but because of survival. 1955 nickels were everywhere. Nobody saved them. Nobody protected them. And the few that survived with this unique silver-toned appearance, clean rims, strong design details, and untouched surfaces are now locked away by collectors who understand exactly what they're holding. Collectors obsess over tiny things on this coin. The way light rolls across the fields. The balance between brightness and age. The sharpness of Monticello's lines without harshness. Even the rim edge matters. These are the details that separate a normal nickel from a hidden big treasure. When one appears at auction, the room doesn't get loud. It gets tense. Bidding is fast, controlled, and aggressive. No one wants to miss it. And once it's sold, it disappears. Collectors aren't flipping these. They're holding them. Because demand keeps rising and supply keeps shrinking. Quiet wealth. Serious money. And here's the warning you need to hear clearly. Do not spend this coin. People are accidentally losing these every day because 1,955 feels harmless. It's not. Check your nickels. Look for the D mint mark. Look for that natural silver look. Look for originality. This detail changes everything. Professional grading is critical. This is protection. This is proof. Without it, value evaporates. Patience is golden with this coin. Rushing it, cleaning it, or mishandling it will destroy a life-changing opportunity. A properly preserved 1,955 with D. Jefferson nickel in very fine condition with its original silver-toned surfaces has reached a market value of $215,000, not just as a number, but as hidden wealth, a silent fortune people are throwing away without knowing. Stay right here. Do not click away, because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore, and almost nobody is looking for it. Next coin number 5. If you think a coin from the year 2000 can't be worth serious money, this is exactly how people are losing hidden fortunes right now. This coin is a trap, a modern-looking everyday nickel that people are spending without hesitation, and it's one of the most dangerous coins to ignore. Stay with me, because this is not fiction, and this detail changes everything. The year 2000 was not calm. It only looked calm. The country was obsessed with the future, terrified of Y2K, technology was exploding, and nobody was thinking about coins. People trusted machines more than metal. Money was moving faster than ever, and coins were treated like background noise. That mindset is exactly why this coin slipped through unnoticed, and why it became a hidden big treasure. This is the 2000 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark, struck in Denver during a time when speed mattered more than soul. The mint was pumping out massive quantities, assuming nobody would ever care. But pressure creates mistakes. Stress creates anomalies. And this year produced coins that aged in unexpected ways, especially when it comes to surface chemistry and toning. Look at the front of this coin. Jefferson doesn't look old. He looks sharp, clean, confident. The portrait hasn't collapsed. The fields are alive. And then you notice that green spat tone. Subtle, natural, uneven in the most beautiful way. This is not dirt. This is not damage. This is age speaking quietly. Collectors know this look instantly, and when they see it, their attention locks in. Flip it over and Monticello stands crisp and balanced. The building isn't washed out. The lines are clean. The steps still talk. And right there is the D mint mark, small, easy to miss, but everything depends on it. Without it, the story changes. With it, the coin becomes something collectors hunt aggressively. Now imagine holding it. Around 5 grams of solid metal. Familiar diameter, comfortable thickness. It feels like every other nickel, and that's why it's dangerous. It doesn't warn you. It doesn't feel rare. It feels spendable. And people are spending them every single day without realizing they're holding quiet wealth. The metal blend is the modern copper-nickel composition, strong, resilient, designed to survive endless circulation. But here's the twist. Modern coins weren't meant to age beautifully. When they do, collectors notice. That green spat surface is the result of precise environmental conditions, storage, and time. It cannot be recreated. And the moment someone cleans it, scrubs it, or fixes it, the value is destroyed. Never clean this coin. Ever. Original toning is sacred. Here's why survival is rare. Nobody saved nickels from 2000th. Nobody protected them. They went straight into pockets, machines, registers, and circulation loops that chewed them up fast. The ones that survived in fine condition with this unique green toning did so by accident. Forgotten rolls. Ignored jars. Drawers nobody opened for years. That's not common. That's luck, and luck becomes serious money. Collectors obsess over tiny details on this coin. The texture of the green spat areas. The contrast between color and metal. The smoothness of the fields. The strength of Monticello's lines. Even the rim finish matters. This is not casual collecting. This is deep, quiet obsession. When one of these appears at auction, the room shifts. No noise, no drama, just sharp eyes and fast decisions. Collectors don't fight loudly. They fight efficiently. And when the hammer drops, the coin disappears. These are not flip coins. These are hold coins. Demand keeps rising. Supply keeps shrinking. Quiet wealth in motion. And here's the warning you cannot ignore. Do not spend this coin. People are accidentally losing these every day because it's from 2000. That mindset is costing real money. Check your nickels. Look for the D-mint mark. Look for natural green spat toning. Look for originality. This detail changes everything. Professional grading is critical here. This is protection. This is proof. Without it, the coin is just a nickel to everyone else. Patience is golden. Rushing this coin, cleaning it, or mishandling it destroys a life-changing opportunity. A properly preserved 2000 with Jefferson nickel, with its original green spat surface in fine condition, has reached a market value of $162,000. Not just as a number, but as hidden wealth, silent fortune, serious money people are throwing away without knowing. Stay right here. Do not click away, because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore, and almost nobody would believe it exists. Next coin, number 6. If you ever thought a nickel from the 1980s couldn't possibly be worth serious money, this is how people are losing a silent fortune without even slowing down. This coin is hiding in plain sight, and ignoring it is dangerous. Stay with me, because this is not fiction, and one surface detail turns this ordinary-looking nickel into hidden big treasure. 1986 was a strange year for America. The economy looked stable on the surface, but underneath there was pressure everywhere. Manufacturing was changing, automation was rising, and the U.S. Mint was producing coins faster than ever because nobody wanted shortages again. Coins were treated like disposable objects. No one saved them. No one protected them. And that's exactly why this coin matters today. This is the 1986 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark, struck in Philadelphia during a time when speed mattered more than perfection. The presses ran hard. Quality checks were rushed. Dies were used longer than they should have been. And coins were pushed straight into circulation. That pressure created subtle surface behavior that collectors now obsess over, especially the black spat appearance that shows up on rare surviving examples. Look at the front of this coin. Jefferson doesn't look worn out. The portrait still has structure. The hair shows shape. The cheek isn't flat. And then you notice those dark black spat patches. They're not random. They're not damage. They're not dirt. They're natural surface reactions that developed over time, under specific conditions, and collectors recognize them instantly. This is originality talking. Flip the coin over, and Monticello stands clean and balanced. The building hasn't collapsed into mush. The lines still hold their shape. The steps still speak quietly. And right there is the P mint mark. Easy to miss. Easy to ignore. But everything depends on it. That single letter tells collectors this coin came from a high-pressure production environment where survival in fine condition was never expected. Now imagine holding it. About 5 grams of solid metal. Familiar size. Familiar thickness. Nothing about it screams rare when it's in your hand, and that's why people spend them. The diameter feels normal. The thickness feels ordinary. But the presence is there. This coin feels grounded. It feels complete, like it wasn't meant to be rushed away. The metal composition is the standard copper-nickel blend, tough and resilient, designed to survive endless circulation. And it did survive too well. That strength fooled people into thinking these coins were indestructible. So they cleaned them, polished them, tried to make them look better, and the moment they did, they destroyed the value. Never clean this coin. Ever. Those black spat surfaces are not flaws. They are fingerprints of survival. Original toning is sacred here. Here's why this coin is rare. Not because of how many were made, but because of how few survived untouched. 1,986 nickels were everywhere. Nobody cared. They were fed into machines, drawers, registers, and endless circulation loops. The ones that survived in fine condition, with beautiful black spat surfaces, did so by accident. Forgotten collections. Ignored rolls. Storage nobody thought mattered. That's not common. That's luck turning into serious money. Collectors obsess over tiny details on this coin. The placement of the black spat areas. The contrast between dark surface and underlying metal. The smoothness of the fields around Jefferson's face. The clarity of Monticello's lines. Even the rim finish matters. This is not casual collecting. This is deep, quiet obsession. When one of these appears at auction, the room changes. It doesn't get loud. It gets focused. Bidding is controlled, fast, and aggressive. Collectors don't waste time. They know how rare these are. And once one is sold, it disappears. These are not flip coins. These are hold coins. Demand keeps rising. Supply keeps shrinking. Quiet wealth moving hands. Here's the warning you need to hear clearly. Do not spend this coin. People are accidentally losing these every single day because 1,986 feels recent. It's not. It's a danger year, a transition year, a year where nobody was paying attention, and that's why hidden treasures slipping through. Check your nickels. Look for the P mint mark. Look for original black spat surfaces. Look for natural aging, not polish. This detail changes everything. Professional grading is critical. This is protection. This is proof. Without it, value collapses. Patience is golden here. Rushing, cleaning, or mishandling this coin destroys a life-changing opportunity. A properly preserved 1986 with P. Jefferson nickel with its original black spat surface in fine condition has reached a market value of $194,000. Not just a number, but hidden wealth, silent fortune, serious money people are throwing away without knowing. Stay right here. Do not click away. Because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore, and almost nobody would ever believe it's worth this much. Next coin, number 7. If this nickel ever slid across your palm, you would never hesitate. You'd spend it. You'd drop it in a jar. And just like that, a silent fortune would be gone. This coin is hiding in plain sight, and ignoring it is dangerous. Stay with me, because this is not fiction, and one surface detail turns this ordinary-looking nickel into hidden big treasure. 1948 was a rebuilding year for America. World War II was over, but the pressure didn't disappear, it shifted. Industries were retooling. Money was tight for everyday families, and coins were back in heavy circulation fast. Nobody was saving nickels. Nobody was protecting them. The country wanted normal again, and coins were treated like disposable tools. That mindset is exactly why this coin became rare without anyone noticing. This is the 1948 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, struck in Philadelphia under non-stop production demand. No mint mark means high volume output, rushed handling, and dies that didn't get much rest. Coins were struck, stacked, and released quickly, and most were worn down hard within just a few years. Survival in very fine condition was never expected. Look closely at the front. Jefferson's portrait still has dignity. The face hasn't collapsed. The hair still shows flow. And then you see it that silver and brown spat toning. Not bright. Not flashy. Deep, natural, aged color that tells collectors this coin lived a real life and survived untouched. This is not dirt. This is not damage. This is original surface, and it's deadly valuable. Flip it over, and Monticello stands quiet and strong. The structure isn't washed away. The lines still hold. The steps are there, whispering detail. The fields around the building still have depth. And that absence of a mint mark, so easy to overlook, is exactly what makes collectors stop breathing for a second. Because no mint mark means Philadelphia, and Philadelphia in 1948 meant pressure, speed, and loss. Now imagine the feel of it. About 5 grams of solid weight. Not heavy, not flimsy. A diameter that fills your fingers just enough to feel important. A thickness that gives the coin presence. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels grounded. Like it wasn't meant to be ignored, even though millions of people did exactly that. The metal blend is the classic copper-nickel composition, tough and resilient, built to survive heavy use. And it did survive, but at a cost. Most of these coins were worn smooth, scratched, cleaned, or destroyed by overhandling. That's why original toning matters so much here. The moment someone cleans this coin, the silver and brown spat disappears forever. Never clean this coin. Ever. Original skin is everything. Here's why this coin is rare. Not because of how many were made, but because of how few survived untouched. 1948 nickels were everywhere. Nobody saved them. The ones that survived in very fine condition with this kind of natural, antique-looking toning did so by accident. Forgotten drawers, old rolls, collections that sat quietly for decades. That's not common. That's a hidden miracle. Collectors obsess over tiny things on this coin. The balance between silver brightness and warm brown tones. The smoothness of the fields. The clarity of Jefferson's features. The strength of Monticello's lines. Even the rim finish matters. These details separate a regular nickel from a silent fortune. When one of these appears at auction, the energy shifts instantly. No shouting. No drama. Just sharp eyes and fast decisions. Bidding moves quietly but aggressively. Collectors aren't flipping these. They're holding them. Because supply keeps shrinking, demand keeps rising, and coins like this disappear into long-term collections. And here's the warning you need to hear clearly. Do not spend this coin. People are accidentally losing these every single day because 1,948 feels harmless. It's not. Check your nickels. Look for no mint mark. Look for natural silver and brown spat toning. Look for originality. This detail changes everything. Professional grading is critical. This is protection. This is proof. Without it, value collapses. Patience is golden here. Rushing, cleaning, or mishandling this coin destroys a life-changing opportunity. A properly preserved 1,948 with no mint mark, Jefferson nickel with its original silver and brown spat surfaces in very fine condition has reached a market value of $170,000. Not just a number, but hidden wealth, silent fortune, serious money people are throwing away without knowing. Stay right here. Do not click away. Because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore, and most people would never believe it's real. Next coin, number 8. If this nickel ever sat in your pocket, you wouldn't even look at it. You'd spend it. You'd lose it. And just like that, a silent fortune would disappear. This coin is hiding in plain sight, and ignoring it is dangerous. Stay with me, because this is not fiction, and one overlooked detail turns this everyday nickel into a hidden big treasure. 1978 was a heavy year for America. Inflation was still haunting people, confidence in money was shaky, and coins were treated like junk. Everything felt temporary. Nobody trusted metal. Nobody saved change. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to keep money moving fast, and Philadelphia was producing coins without mint marks that nobody thought would ever matter. That mindset is exactly why this coin slipped through unnoticed and why it's rare today. This is the 1978 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark struck in Philadelphia during a period when speed mattered more than care. Coins were struck quickly, dies were pushed hard, and quality control took a back seat to volume. These nickels went straight into circulation, where most of them were chewed up, scratched, cleaned, or destroyed. Survival in very fine condition was never expected. Look at the front of this coin. Jefferson's portrait still holds shape. The face hasn't gone flat. The hair still shows structure. And then you notice the surface that's silver and brown, spat toning. Deep, natural, uneven in the most beautiful way. This is not dirt. This is not damage. This is age and chemistry working together over decades. Collectors recognize this instantly. This is originality speaking quietly. Flip it over, and Monticello stands firm. The building hasn't melted away. The lines are still there. The steps still whisper detail. The fields have depth. And the missing mint mark sits there silently, fooling almost everyone. No mint mark means Philadelphia, and Philadelphia in 1978 meant massive production and almost zero concern for preservation. That's why this matters. Now imagine the feel of it in your hand. About 5 grams of solid weight. Familiar diameter. Comfortable thickness. It feels like every other nickel, and that's the danger. It doesn't warn you. It doesn't feel special. It feels spendable. And people are spending these every single day without realizing they're holding quiet wealth. The metal composition is the standard copper-nickel blend, tough and resilient, designed to survive heavy use. And it did survive too well. That strength fooled people into thinking these coins could be cleaned safely. They can't. Never clean this coin. Ever. The moment that silver-brown spat surface is disturbed, the value collapses. Original toning is everything here. Here's why this coin is rare. Not because of mintage numbers, but because of survival. Nobody saved 1,978 nickels. Nobody protected them. They were fed into machines, registers, and endless circulation. The few that survived in very fine condition with this natural antique toning did so by accident. Forgotten drawers, old rolls, ignored collections. That's not common. That's a hidden miracle. Collectors obsess over tiny details on this coin. The balance between silver brightness and warm brown tones. The smoothness of the fields. The clarity of Jefferson's features. The strength of Monticello's lines. Even the rim finish matters. This is not casual collecting. This is quiet obsession. When one of these appears at auction, the room changes. It doesn't get loud. It gets focused. Bidding is fast, controlled, and aggressive. Collectors aren't flipping these. They're holding them. Supply keeps shrinking. Demand keeps rising. Quiet wealth moves hands without noise. Here's the warning you must hear clearly. Do not spend this coin. People are accidentally losing these every single day because 1,978 feels recent. It's not. It's a trap year. Check your nickels. Look for no mint mark. Look for natural silver and brown spat toning. Look for originality. This detail changes everything. Professional grading is critical. This is protection. This is proof. Without it, value disappears. Patience is golden here. Rushing, cleaning, or mishandling this coin destroys a life-changing opportunity. A properly preserved 1,978 with no mint mark, Jefferson nickel with original silver and brown spat surfaces in very fine condition has reached a market value of $140,000. Not just a number, but hidden wealth, silent fortune, serious money people are throwing away without knowing. Do not leave yet, because the next coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore, and almost nobody on Earth is checking for it. Next coin number 9. If this nickel ever crossed your fingers, you would never stop it. You'd spend it. You'd toss it aside. And just like that, a hidden fortune would vanish. This coin is quiet, dangerous, hiding in plain sight. Stay with me, because this is not fiction, and this small detail changes everything. 1956 was a year of movement in America. Highways were expanding, businesses were booming, and money was flowing faster than ever. Coins weren't respected, they were tools meant to be spent, not saved. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to keep up with demand, and Denver was working hard, pushing production speed over perfection. That stress is exactly why this coin exists today as a hidden big treasure. This is the 1956 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark struck in Denver during a time when quantity mattered more than care. Coins were struck fast, dies were pushed long, and quality checks were rushed. Most of these nickels went straight into heavy circulation and stayed there for decades. Survival in very fine condition was never expected. Look at the front of this coin. Jefferson's portrait still holds strength. The face hasn't flattened. The hair still shows flow. The fields around the portrait remain smooth and balanced. Nothing flashy. Nothing obvious. That's the danger. This coin doesn't scream rarity, it whispers it. Flip it over, and Monticello stands steady and defined. The building hasn't collapsed. The lines still hold. The steps still speak quietly. And there it is, the D-mint mark. Small, easy to overlook. But everything depends on it. That one letter tells collectors this coin came from a pressured mint where very few survived untouched. Now imagine holding it. Around 5 grams of solid metal. Familiar diameter. Comfortable thickness. It feels like every other nickel you've ever held, and that's exactly why people are losing them. It doesn't warn you. It doesn't feel special. It feels spendable. The metal composition is the classic copper-nickel blend, designed to survive heavy use. And it did. That strength fooled people into thinking these coins could handle anything. They cleaned them, polished them, tried to improve them. And the moment they did, the value vanished. Never clean this coin. Ever. Original toning is everything here. Here's why this coin is rare. Not because of mintage numbers, but because of survival. 1,956 nickels were everywhere. Nobody saved them. Almost all were worn down, damaged, or altered. The ones that survived in very fine condition with honest wear and untouched surfaces are now hunted aggressively by collectors. Collectors obsess over tiny details on this coin. The sharpness of Jefferson's jaw, the smoothness of the fields, the clarity of Monticello's lines, the rim integrity, even the spacing of the lettering matters. This is not casual collecting. This is deep, quiet obsession. When one of these appears at auction, the atmosphere tightens. No shouting, no drama, just fast, controlled bidding. Collectors don't hesitate. They know how rare these are. And once sold, these coins disappear into long-term collections. Demand keeps rising. Supply keeps shrinking. Quiet wealth moves silently. Here's the warning you must hear clearly. Do not spend this coin. People are accidentally losing these every single day because 1,956 feels harmless. It's not. Check your nickels. Look for the D-mint mark. Look for strong original surfaces. Look for honesty in the wear. This detail changes everything. Professional grading is critical. This is protection. This is proof. Without it, value collapses. Patience is golden here. Rushing, cleaning, or mishandling this coin destroys a life-changing opportunity. A properly preserved 1,956 with D. Jefferson nickel in very fine condition has reached a market value of $150,000. Not just a number, but hidden wealth, silent fortune, serious money people are throwing away without knowing. Do not go anywhere, because the next and final coin is even rarer, even more shocking, and even more dangerous to ignore. And it changes everything. Next coin, number 10. If you thought the nickels in your pocket were all the same, this one will shock you. This coin is hiding a fortune, quietly sitting in jars, drawers, or forgotten rolls. People are spending these every day without knowing it, and that's why it's dangerous to ignore. Stay with me, because this is not fiction. This ordinary-looking nickel is a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. This is the 1941 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, struck in Philadelphia during one of the most tense years in U.S. history. America was on the brink of entering World War II. Economies were under pressure, metals were being rationed, and production was pushed to its limits. Every coin struck carried the weight of a nation's uncertainty, and that pressure made survival incredibly rare. Most of these nickels were spent hard, worn down, lost, or destroyed. Finding one today in any condition is a miracle, and this one survived in dirty, untouched form, which collectors secretly love. Look closely at the front. Jefferson's portrait. Original toning, original survival, that's everything. Collectors obsess over tiny details here. The way the surfaces remain intact despite wear, the subtle textures, the way the rim holds up under time, and even how the dirty condition tells a story of real survival. This is not casual collecting. This is quiet obsession, deep focus, and life-changing opportunity. When these nickels appear at auction, the room doesn't roar, it tightens. Bidding is aggressive but controlled. These coins are bought to hold, to protect, to treasure. Supply keeps shrinking. Demand keeps rising. Silent fortunes are moving quietly from pocket to vault. Here's the warning. Do not spend this coin. People are losing them every day, treating them as ordinary change. Check your drawers. Check old rolls. Look for no mint mark, original surfaces, even dirty coins. These are treasures in disguise. Professional grading is critical. This proves authenticity and protects value. Patience is golden. Rushing, cleaning, or mishandling will destroy life-changing wealth. A properly preserved 1941 with no mint mark, Jefferson nickel, even in dirty condition, has reached a market value of $124,000. Hidden wealth, silent fortune, serious money, all in a coin people are accidentally losing every day. And now, as we close this video, remember this. You've just seen 10 Monticello Jefferson nickels that are quietly worth more than most people earn in years. They're hiding in plain sight. They're dangerous to ignore. They're changing lives quietly, silently, and right now. So check your pockets, check your drawers, check every jar of change. Because the next treasure could be right in front of you, a life-changing coin hiding in your own hands, waiting for you to notice. Stay vigilant, stay curious, and never ever spend a coin like this without checking. Your fortune might be closer than you think.